Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. I'm sorry that it has taken me this long to get back to these presidential videos. Uh, I, I was busy. It's been a whirlwind of a legislative session, particularly without an executive director currently. It has made things move very quickly and constantly up and down from Phoenix and back. So uh, excuses, but here I am today. Hopefully you saw my previous video while I was running through downtown Disney to catch up with my wife while we were there in Anaheim for the national board meeting. If you didn't see that video, the biggest thing to point out about that video was the fact that I am seeking re-election as your state president and your national trustee. And I hope to continue to have your support. I am honored to serve you guys, and I look forward to doing it as long as you'll have me. So most recently, I was in Washington, D.C. for Police Week. Once again, I volunteered with National FOP to help the memorial service run smoothly. It was again a powerful week here locally for me with Tucson Lodge One. We actually sponsored Officer Rennick, Officer Rumsley, and myself to go out to Washington, D.C. And the reason we did that was because for the first time in the history of the Canine Memorial Service, we had a Tucson Police Department dog that was being recognized in that service. Canine Raven actually lost his battle after being shot a few years back. And that's when I was still the supervisor, and Officer Rumsley was the unit trainer that was responsible partially for that canine. It was a very humbling moment. I was very proud to be there for that. And then obviously the candlelight vigil, they did a really nice job of powering through all the names before the torrential downpour hit. So we didn't get too wet, and we were able to get back without what happened the year previously, where we were all literally standing in the rain for an hour while they continued to read names. And then, of course, the memorial service itself on the 15th. It's always just a powerful moment. I get there about 8:30 in the morning for our final briefing and our final assignments, and how to do whatever it is you're assigned to do. And to see those white chairs on the Capitol lawn empty, and then watch as the survivors arrive and watch those white chairs go from empty to full. It's a feeling that I can't fully describe for you. You have to see it to believe it, and it affects everybody that's there. There's no way you can go to that service and not be affected. As you probably saw, President Trump was in China. So this year, Vice President J.D. Vance gave the keynote speaker. He was the keynote speaker for the memorial service. He was also our keynote speaker last year. And once again, just a wonderful speech. He knocked it out of the park and expressed his and the administration's support for law enforcement. If you haven't been paying attention to National FOP's social media, I would highly encourage that you jump on that, because one of the other things that happened while we were there for Police Week was the president invited several law enforcement leaders, primarily, but I will tell you there were 24 members of FOP that were invited to dinner at the White House, seated at the exact same table as the president of the United States was President Patrick Yost. So that should give you an idea of how much we are moving up in the world of policing and being the voice of law enforcement. Also on social media, and also the reason I'm jumping on right now, and it's an important one, and I want to make sure you guys understand it. If you saw the social media posts that we put out about continuing Resolution 96, this was a resolution introduced by the Republicans that the base of the resolution was supporting law enforcement. If you pull that resolution up, you can find it online. Just Google 2026 continuing House Resolution 96, and you'll be able to pull up the language. What you'll see inside there's definitely some language that was intended and kind of poignant towards the Democratic Party. And so that's why you saw several, including all three Arizona Democratic congressional representatives, vote against the bill. So I sent a letter to all three of them and express my concern, our concern as a membership about that vote. So I want to give credit where credit is due. I literally just got off the phone with Congressman Stanton. Now, Congressman Stanton and I, we have met several times over the last few years at Day on the Hill. He has constantly been available for us. And I give him all the credit in the world for receiving that letter and picking up the phone. He got that letter today. I know because his staffer emailed me back and said, yes, I'll give it to the congressman. And then he emailed me maybe 2 hours later and said, can you be available for a phone call? And I was absolutely, I'll be available. Mad props to Congressman Stanton to do the right thing and pick up the phone and explain his vote and still promise that he does support law enforcement. He just didn't want that kind of political language in there. And while I told him I understood his position, I also made sure to point out to him that, quite frankly, it is the Democratic Party who does demonize law enforcement and does use political rhetoric against law enforcement, and that it's beyond time for someone to step up and put an end to all of it. And I believe that voting for that resolution would have been a way to start that process. I'm not going to say we hung up the phone agreeing to disagree. It was more of a, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, and I understand where you're coming from, but let's just keep working together and let's try and to get to common good and common ground in other places where we can do that. So I truly appreciate his phone call, and I think you guys should too. It takes a little bit of guts to actually pick up that phone and actually call me and have those discussions. And I appreciate him for it. I don't expect that from the other two, just so we're clear on that. Those two have yet to answer anything that I have sent them since they got into office, so I don't anticipate that changing. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I walk outside and there's a message from either one of them saying, "Hey, we want to talk to you," because I would love to. I'd love that opportunity to sit down with them. But as of yet, that hasn't happened. So, all right, moving forward, literally next week, I will be jumping back into the airport and back on an airplane. We're headed to Denver, Colorado for the Western States Coalition meeting. Don't anticipate anything huge coming out of there, but if that changes, I'll let you guys know as soon as that does. On our side of things for Arizona, right now, both of our bills, the ones that are still alive, are just sitting at the Senate. Everyone took a break. They're coming back. I believe it was June 1st is when they're going to come back. The bills that are sitting there, they already passed out of the Senate once, and then when they went to the House, the bills actually got stronger. So I think we don't anticipate there being any issues with getting the final Senate vote and getting them sent to the governor's desk. What happens after that? You guys live here like I do, you know that that veto stamp is pretty popular in her office. I don't think that that's the route. I think we've got good support. We've been told we have support for those bills. So, but I don't want you to get your hopes up. I try and keep mine level. But I believe that we're going to be good to go, and I believe that at state conference I'll be telling you guys that we were successful as much as we could be successful in this particular legislative session. Speaking of state conference, if your lodge has not booked your rooms for your delegates yet, you should have received an email from Brother Sheridan. If you didn't receive it, please reach out to him. We have a secondary hotel, and moving forward, I need you to book at that hotel. There's some sort of mix-up with the Prescott Resort and Conference Center that cost us 25 something rooms for Tuesday night, which is obviously our banquet night. So very strange to me that, and the hotel is standing firm that this is not their fault, that this is the contract we signed, and so it's our fault. We're gonna be discussing some things at conference about that and what direction we want to take moving forward. But if you have not booked yet, please get with Brother Sheridan so you can get the link for the secondary hotel. It irritates me to no end. I apologize if you're in that boat. My personal lodge is in that boat, and it bothers me to no end that they're going to have to shuttle over to the airport or shuttle over to this. They're not far apart, but it's still a pain to have to come over there for a conference and then go back, and the whole thing's frustrating for me. But it is what it is. There's not a lot we can do. The hotel kind of has us. in a place that we can't really win this go around. We'll see about next go around. We'll talk about that at conference. So my plan, just so you guys know, my plan is to jump back on probably middle of June, right before we head out to conference. So hopefully I'll have another video for you, and we might have some good news in that video. But until then, stay FOP strong, and please stay safe out there, and please take care of each other. Thank you.